for us, gender equity, we're a traditional utility business. A traditional utility business just means men. That's the way it's been sort of built for the last 100 years. And therefore, everyone can see the benefit of having that diversity, which just we weren't seeing. So we made a conscious push to obviously, improve that, and not just in the traditional back office areas, but also in the frontline areas as well. Yeah, we've made probably 3 big changes, I would say, for us for gender equity. I think the really big one for us as a starting point was flexible working. Interestingly, that's something we already had. We actually had flexible working already, but I think driving that down through the business, that was sort of really changed to part-time, and then it had all the stigma that was attached to part-time. So really offering genuine flexible working, and therefore that could mean somebody working 4 days on a full-time salary. It was a real important step for us. I think we also went through a restructuring, and a restructuring gave us a big opportunity. That was, there's the emotional bit of a lot of people leaving the business, but I think on top of that, that also gives opportunities to other people. And I think we made a conscious choice from that perspective that you didn't always need the best technical person for the roles that were becoming vacant, but you did need the people that had the best ability with leadership and people. And not surprising, that's quite often a female that comes forward, so really pushing that one forward. And then the next one for us was probably apprentices. So from us, apprentices and getting females in the apprentices right at the front line was a real important one for us. So we can actually get 1/3 of our apprentice intake already that could be a female intake, and that was seen last year. So that's a really big bonus for us coming forward for the future. I think communication was really important for us. So actually making sure people were consistent in terms of what we were communicating was a big one for us. I think what wasn't successful, I don't think we did that well. So I think it was important for us to get out there more. It was important for us to get out there and sell the message a bit more. I think you sit back thinking you just make the decision and then it's all going to really flow very nicely, and it doesn't. So yeah, I think lesson to all of us, you've got to get out, you've got to get out there into the business and you've got to sell it. I think there's lots of little building blocks that you've got to do. So yeah, we talked about flexible to part-time. That seems so simple, but actually optically it's just so important. It's optically so important that people realise that you don't have to work a 5-day week. So yeah, is that a game changer? No, I think it's just a building block, and I think there's 20 such building blocks that you've got to do, and you've got to keep pushing, and you've got to keep selling it all the way through the business. I suppose if I'm going to go finance, the stats change. The stats are good. Actually, you can actually influence the top level really easily. So you can make a difference to the board, you can make a difference to the exec, and you can make a difference to, I think, the leadership sort of levels down. And I think the stats then show that. So, the fact that we're sort of over 1/3 in terms of senior leadership is a big change for us. That was from a very low base. And you can do that very quickly while there's a lot of change going on. So I think it's a positive one, and I think it was an important one for us, because I think what we said is we weren't adverse to quotas, but what we said was a quota was a resort if the actual tried and tested didn't work. And so give the tried and tested an opportunity, and if it's actually showing where you want to get to, then it works, and that's the way you should do it. But I think you've got to be honest enough to say if that didn't work, then put a quota in. And I think we haven't had to do a quota. So I think it's a positive that I think, your actions are actually getting through the business for us.